restrooms in Chrisfield, right behind City Hall, right where the American flag was flying, with liberty and justice for all. Why do they need to waste so much money on the restrooms? Instead of having two, they had four. There were two sets of water fountains. Any of you ever go to the National Hardcraft Derby celebration and parade? I'm sure you do. Some of you go to the Deal Island, you see parades all over. It used to be there were separate parades. Saturday was the white parade. Monday was the African American parade. And what sense did that make? And it made plenty of sense. And I remember people had different views. As things were changing, and it was obvious that things were changing in our society, after Brown and Dr. King was starting to be very involved in the Montgomery boycott, 56, 57, with Rosa Parks. I think some of you have probably heard of her, the Montgomery bus boycott. He was working, and then eventually other people, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and others were doing sit-ins. They would come to lunch counters and sit, and they weren't supposed to do it because African Americans weren't supposed to go into restaurants in this area and areas of the South. We were at a restaurant called H&G in Easton, my parents and my little brother. And several of the sit-in people who were protesting came in. They were made up of, in large part, African Americans who were from college, African American ministers, white Jewish rabbis, white priests and white ministers, and also white college students, and some other people who, I couldn't identify as clearly. And they came in, and some people were very scared, very afraid, because it was a change. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Because we all go places together, and we don't even give it a second thought. But people were afraid. Other people were mumbling under their breath, they shouldn't be doing that, this is wrong. But I heard other people say they've got just as much right to eat here as anybody else. So everybody didn't have that attitude. But it's sometimes very, very difficult to change things. And change doesn't happen right away. And sometimes it should. But eventually things have changed. They're not perfect. But these kinds of Supreme Court cases, and there were 3 or 4 other cases that were bubbling up from the states about segregation of schools. Linda Brown's school was 20 blocks away. The white school was 5 blocks away. That was ridiculous. She should go to the closer one. And it was taking time, but there was change taking place because of people who were willing to use their civil rights under the Constitution, the freedom of speech, freedom of civil disobedience, protest, and so forth, to work towards civil rights. And things changed, but it took several years because several states, and there are still tricks and things like that people will use to try to keep us apart as a group of people. Do you have any questions for me? I appreciate you sitting still. I didn't mean to talk so much, which is a violation of every principle.